Right, this is the response I got back from them. The response to your Freedom of Information Act request to the National Aeronautics, dated blah blah blah, and that is, I'm sure the people who are watching this will know my request. Pause if you don't. That was the request. Your request was forwarded to JSC History Office for a search. Staff there advised that the records you are seeking, if they exist, would be in the custody of NARA, which is the National Records Motion Picture Sound and Video Unit. Now, I've had a look into this NARA place, and it looks like a bit of a nightmare to try and get the footage. If it's not been digitized, I would have to turn up there myself and record it myself, and if it has, it looks like I need to know the real numbers and all that kind of stuff. A whole load of information that is just beyond reasonable to expect, in my opinion. If you believe this to be an adverse determination, you have the right to appeal my action on your request. Your appeal must be received within 90 days and gives an address to send it to and the details. And it also gives an email address, which I'm going to email to, and this will be my response. So, hi Stephanie, I was given your email address when my FOIA was turned down. Tracking number, my request was as follows. And the request was denied. I assume you will look it up. The case I want to put forward in my appeal is that over $2 billion was spent on these missions, and it would seem NASA is not even aware if the original footage has been stored. I assume that would be film canisters, some of which may have been digitized, but if not, then a visit to the National Archives would be required by me or any member of the public wanting to view the full footage, which would be expensive, and looking at the requirements of the Archive Centre, a level of knowledge about search parameters beyond that, which could reasonably be known by a member of the public, would be needed. I understand that you have only a limited time for which you need to keep certain records. However, I would argue that from the public's perspective, the film footage is the most valuable aspect of any space mission. It is the closest any of the paying public are ever going to get to space. Free and easy access to that footage in this modern era would be something that could be provided by NASA, lest we lose all the footage from such times. It is my understanding that the best footage from the moon missions has already been lost. The public deserve better from a company that receives $57 million per day than the "go find it yourself, it's not our problem, hey, we don't even know if it still exists." Perhaps for something more specific, that would be an acceptable response. However, for the full film footage, which is the best part of any mission for your average Joe and of historic value, I think that is unfair. I would suggest, given your huge resources, that the emphasis should be on you to provide the public with a historic record of the film taken on these very expensive missions. And you should be the ones that find and treasure the old footage and make it freely available to the public. Why should the public be expected to wade through the difficulty of getting to view the footage they paid for and you have withheld and possibly lost? In a previous FOIA, I asked for all the footage from 2 space shuttle missions. I'm delighted to say you are able to provide that footage. Footage that I believe, given the enormous cost of the shuttle missions, $196 billion, should also, in this age of YouTube, be available to the public, lest that get lost as well. You could go and find this historic footage and load it up to YouTube. You have the resources to do this. The average Joe does not. So I'm asking you to do this for all mankind. This is a part of our history we should be entitled to view without having to fill out copious amounts of forms. Whilst I see legally you have limited responsibility for the keeping of records, I ask that you consider your duty to make the film footage easily available for all to see, so that the public are able to enjoy the footage which came at a very high cost to them.